Welcome back to PR with Serena. I am Serena. I'm here to be your critical friend for us to question your objectives for your campaigns. Let's look at your marketing campaigns. Let's keep it broad. Let's not just speak about public relations. Even speak about business. So, as a systems thinker and as a chartered public relations practitioner and someone who's been in this industry for more than 20 years, I've done a lot of PR planning, a lot of strategic work. And more recently, as I have been embarking upon postgraduate study and become a systems thinking practitioner, I have become familiar with lots of sort of models and methodologies to sort of really map out strategy. And I have realized that there is so much of this that is missing from the discipline of being in marketing. I think that we could be much more reflective and critical when it comes to setting objectives and deciding on how our campaigns look. So I'm here to help you with your objective setting. And so the first thing is for us to appreciate that we are the practitioner, the thinker, the doer within the actual campaign. So we often see ourselves on the outside looking in, but actually, we are the one setting the objective. It's through our perspective. And so we are very much a part of it because we're going to have our own thinking, our own considerations, our subjectivity that is invested in this objective setting for this campaign. So it's really important to appreciate that first. Why? Because you're going to have to think quite critically about why you've decided to do this campaign and this particular objective in the first place. And so by becoming aware of your own subjectivity, you can also then think, okay, how is my bias actually feeding this objective? Is this suiting me? Is it suiting the sort of whole? Is it with stakeholders in mind? So it gets you to ask those questions. Now, in the end, after you do this inquiry to find out why this objective, why is it that I'm choosing this one, you might find that actually you're on the right path. You are doing things the correct way. And that's okay. So this inquiry should then, therefore, make you feel even more confident. And that's all right. It's just that the hesitation um, to do this kind of critical inquiry into our objective setting and campaign planning is because it feels like it's overthinking or it's too much work. It's better that we just get on with it and go with the flow. But when you go with the flow, you might be missing things. You might be missing any thinking traps that you or stakeholders might have. You might be missing any issues that are quite complex and that need a little bit more mapping and planning. So the first thing is really question your objective, see yourself. Actually, sorry, the first thing is to see yourself within the objective setting. Now, the next thing is to question the objective. So it's partly done by seeing yourself within the, let's say, you can even call it a boundary. So within that sort of new campaign area that you're setting, see yourself within it. Now, really question, why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? What is it that I'm looking to get out of it? Now, let's just take a very generic objective that's usually set when marketing campaigns are embarked upon. Let's have a sip of tea. By the way, this is Tutorial Tuesdays, and I always speak about this, I guess, area of business in this manner so that you can take things away and sort of consider them and reflect on them. So, why we decide the things that we do can be, I mean, it could be completely reasonable and it could be based on your habitual process, things that you are doing day to day that are set up within a certain process or are established within a team's practice, and that's completely fine. But each campaign or each sort of area of work or project is so different. It might feel like, oh, it's just the usual awareness raising or it's the usual trying to get some press coverage, or it's just the usual trying to engage more people online. But is it? Can you get even more, not micro, but can you zoom in a little bit more? Because you might find within that objective that you're setting, there might be a more specific, more selective objective or area. And let's just take an example. So, if it is to engage a certain audience, you might do the typical, sorry, my camera's moving. You might do the typical, oh, yes, we need to increase our Instagram following. That is a pretty broad, generic objective, and it's just not meaningful. Is it meaningful? What does it mean to you? Now, is it to increase awareness or engagement on one social media platform around a particular issue or a niche subject or a niche product or service that you are offering? If the product you are offering is quite unique, then who is it unique for? So that should then ask you some questions about your audience. Is it just everyone on your social media catchment? Is it your entire following? Or is it a segment of it? So then it should ask you to question, who is this for? Like, who are we trying to target? And why? Like, what do we want them to do? Now, we all know about calls to action and all that kind of thing, but how does it feed into a wider objective? So you've got to look at your objective within a wider circle. So, how is this feeding the wider objective? When we are campaigning and planning, it's helpful. For instance, in systems thinking, we look at an area of practice. Within that, we see a situation of interest, and you could have multiple situations of interest. And then within each situation of interest, you could have multiple systems of interest. So within campaign setting, and when we set objectives, if the objective is, oh, we want to launch this product for this campaign, sorry, for this client, and they need overall engagement, awareness, attention. Within that, we have to define more than one situation or more than one objective. So it could be for press. One would be for press engagement, or one would be for getting bums on seats for a show. One would be for getting influencers. One would be for getting readers of a particular magazine to click on a survey. So within that, you can see there are multiple objectives, but within them, you could get even more targeted. So within them, for instance, is it all press that you're looking for? But then is the press just to get them to put some media coverage in their title? Or is it that you're looking to establish some relationships with journalists and editors, even bloggers, because the wider objective is a period of time of launches, multiple offerings, and so this is going to be a longer campaign. So you've always got to do this zooming in and zooming out when you are choosing your objective. So critically looking at your objective setting, look at, are there really specific things about this objective? If not, let's drill down a little bit, and then let's identify more than one, perhaps, objective within the objective, more than one objective, and now let's ensure that they are all in line with the wider one. This work isn't usually done, and when you do it this way, you identify even more considerations, because if you apply your usual objective campaign planning methodology, if you apply that to each objective in this mapped out way, you'll discover more things, you'll be able to determine more work streams, you'll be able to set up more evaluation, and more opportunities to achieve the results that you're looking for. In fact, you might become even more effective at it. But not just about getting the outputs that you're looking for right here, right now, but the opportunities further down the road in terms of relationship building, in terms of longer engagement with a segment of your audience. So, this kind of approach is so crucial, and it would just really contribute to the success of your campaign, whatever it is you're doing. If you want to reach out to me, please feel free to do so. You can jump in the comments. You can also contact me via my site. I offer training as well. There are some courses available, and I'll see you in the next video.